Hello, my name is Charles Dodd, and today I'm going to be comparing two businesses and the traditional and modern business practices. Today, those two businesses will be Southwest and Uber. First off, I just want to talk about the core values. I'm going to be talking about Southwest a lot here on this slide because they have been the example for not just their industry, but companies as a whole. Over the years, they have built a reputable brand when it comes to company culture and customer satisfaction. This has been achieved through their efficiency in operations and quality employees. One thing that they really promote is their customer loyalty that they have gained. They have done that through their great service that they provided. They're known for their low fares, which a lot of companies, or a lot of airlines rather, have tried to replicate, and they haven't been able to sustain it like Southwest has. And a lot of that is due to the relationship that they have with their customers, which I'll talk about here later. And it's a part of their, the low fare system is a part of their no class system, which, typically you board an airplane and you have different seating that you predetermined before you got on the plane. You know that I'm sitting in, row 32, seat B. With Southwest, you just board the plane and you pick your seat. It doesn't matter. And how you board the plane is, based off of your check-in time. So you have a 24-hour window, and whoever checks in first boards the plane first. So that has kind of set them apart from their competition as well. One of my favorite things about Southwest is that they promote respect, care, and personal growth within their company culture. And this is expected both for the employees and their customers. It's known that those are their top priorities, and that has set them apart from their competition. One of their most symbolic symbols is plastered all throughout, their company, and that is the Southwest heart. You can see it on every plane, and it's a great symbol for their vision statement, which is to be the world's most loved, most efficient, and most profitable airline. Uber had infamous core values, especially compared to what Southwest has. They, kind of rubbed some stakeholders the wrong way, and they actually, in 2017, changed these. They had some pretty unprofessional, to today's standards, values. One was always be hustling. They changed those to, they value ideas over hierarchy, that they persevere, and that they do the right thing, period. So Uber has been making changes recently, but they did start off on the wrong foot. Next, I want to talk about the market segmentation and customer base. Both Uber and Southwest have broad market segmentations due to the nature of their businesses. They can provide a service to quite a variety of consumers. Southwest does see a lot of middle-class families for vacation travels. And then, of course, you have a lot of businessmen and women traveling that use Southwest. They basically want to help anyone who wants to travel. Uber, their demographics are more towards the younger generations. Primarily, I believe this is because of college-age students. When they go out, it's a great supplement rather than drinking and driving. It's a lot easier than finding a designated driver. Or young professionals, if you're traveling, going to a new city, rather than having to rent a car and do all the driving yourself, this is a great substitute for your choice of transportation. You can see that they have been reaching different types of incomes in urban contexts in that nice graphic there on the right-hand side of the screen. So Uber, again, they want to reach as many people as they can due to their nature of their business, but they are more on the younger generation side of things. When it comes to the relationships and loyalty, like I said, Southwest is basically at the top, and compared to Uber, they have definitely had a better track record. They've built one of the most loyal customer bases in any industry, and a great example is after 9/11, a lot of air travel obviously went down. People were scared to travel via air. So what their customers did was actually send them checks, showing them support, helping with their loss in revenues. No other airline experienced anything like this. So, this was a great display of loyalty from their customer base, and they have received many awards over the years. One that I found very interesting was the Temkin Experience Rating, because they survey 10,000 U.S. customers, and this involves 246 companies over every industry you can think of. And Southwest was at the top when it came to that award. They didn't win it, but they scored very well, especially when the airline industry itself was more of a average scoring industry. When it came to Uber, they've experienced early challenges. They haven't had the same track record that Southwest has had per se, but they have been trying to promote safety and security and privacy. They've been trying to help with the pricing, get their prices down. And then one thing that I think that they're doing very well is once they get established in these cities, once they have drivers in different cities, they want to be what they say is a good citizen. So they want to provide good opportunities, give back to the communities that they are active in, and be basically a good citizen. One of the most important lessons we have had this year involved the artificial intelligence and big data usage among companies. The airline industry as a whole has increased their usage of the artificial intelligence, algorithms, and big data usage basically since the turn of the century. The industry seems to be quick when it comes to adapting to these innovative technology movements, and Southwest is a industry leader when it comes to this. They use this for revenue management, aircraft maintenance, workforce optimization, air safety, and fuel consumption optimization. For an example, airlines use these artificial intelligence systems that are built-in machine learning algorithms to collect and analyze flight data regarding each route. And this basically takes in the distance, altitudes, the carrier information, the weight, and the weather. And based on these findings, these systems estimate the optimal amount of fuel that is used for the trip. So Southwest has been an industry leader by implementing this technology into their operations. Uber, they speak for themselves, basically. They're also a leader when it comes to artificial intelligence and big data usage. This is something that I think Uber and Southwest have both done a great job on. Uber has used autonomous vehicles, which, recently they did just take away some of their projects for that. But they have been using AI and algorithms to improve location accuracy, your ETAs, and then how you communicate with your drivers. So this has been a revolutionary way of using the data. They have not just changed their own industry, but other industries as well. So digital transformation has been big for both of these companies. Southwest has been working on a text data mining project with NASA since 2008. The specialists use algorithms to text mine large amounts of data generated by airplanes, as well as report data from pilots and others like air traffic controllers to basically detect patterns, aiming at potential safety problems. And there was an incident that started this project. It was on April 17th of 2008 when an airplane had to perform an emergency landing in Philadelphia because a fan blade fell off of the airplane. And the diagnosis actually ended up being a metal fatigue problem. And now with this technology, you can get that data given to you right then and there. So this is real-time data that can be diagnosed, and it makes a lot of safety hazards a lot more reliable to kind of analyze and a lot quicker to be diagnosed. And with Uber, I would actually argue that their inception was the biggest event for them when it came to digital transformation, because they've been gaining interest and trust from their consumers and other industries right out the gate. They've become an industry leader, and they have created a huge platform for a lot of digital transformation with all of the artificial intelligence that they're implementing in their system. These industries as a whole have displayed digital maturity, and these companies are front runners for their industries. In our lessons, the mindset of the company is said to be a big role, and I think these companies do a great job of displaying that. Southwest and Uber have both shown top-tier digital maturity through their willingness not only to adapt, but to become trendsetters in their own industries. and both companies have integrated new technology into their operations, and they've done it on major levels. The organizational structure for both companies should be studied by others who are trying to be a more digitally mature company. So these two definitely have set precedent in their respective industries. Unlike our case studies from class, Southwest hasn't really used analytics when they are hiring people per se, but they have used it a lot in their personnel when it comes to their interactions with their customers. Basically, they have systems that allow their employees to stay track on their goals. Basically, they keep track of how their interactions of their customers go through surveys, through recordings, and different points of their travel. They will have, goals for the employees to hit, whether it's getting the cabin all cleaned up, how their air travel time was. So this is used for their employees to kind of reach their goals and for the customers to make sure that they're having a great experience. So they use them for their performance metrics, their customer service, and their employee workflow. Uber, they basically use this for a lot more, but they are looking at some lawsuits because they have profile data that taken all the information for their drives, whether they're late, whether they're canceling rides, whether their customers are having a bad experience, and people think that they're using this information against them. One of Uber's big things is that you are your own boss, and people believe that you can't have your quote unquote own business if you're being monitored like this. And then finally, I have my key takeaways. I think that you need a balance of both traditional and more modern. When it comes to Southwest, a lot of their focus is on the people, and I think that's what a lot of traditional businesses do. They're willing to adapt, though, which is more of the modern side of things. Uber, they could take some lessons from more of a traditional approach, but they have to have that innovative mindset, as their core value still. So being able to adapt is key, and when you adapt, you have to be willing to learn. And then obviously digital maturity is critical. One thing that I wouldn't do is go on one side of these things. I would not just mainly focus on the technical side of things, and I also would not just focus on the people, because at the end of the day, you have to adapt. You have to be a trendsetter. You have to be willing to take risk. Thank you for watching my presentation.